Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my stream, and welcome back to another chapter working on our Sherman tank here. What we're doing is the Fury version from the movie Fury. Alright, so hit it. What? Oh, where's my intro? My intro. Where'd my intro go? Oh, there it is. Well guys, like I said, welcome to the channel, welcome to another chapter. Working on our little tank here, our Sherman tank M4A3E8, sometimes called the Easy 8. But we're doing it as a version from the Fury movie. And we're trucking along here pretty good. We got our upper hull parts, I'd say part 1 done last time, and now we're going to continue on with part 2 and get more of this stuff done. I did go ahead and put on the rest of our little braces here on the other side off camera. Didn't bother showing you guys that. And I went and did a few more photo etch pieces, getting those ready to be put on. Where are we here? Here we are. Okay, so got those done, so we're going to continue on. We're working on this here, so let's get a couple of things out of the way and we'll switch the camera and let you in on how I'm doing this. Okay, let's see here. Alright, so like I said, I got this other side put on last time, and we've got all our bits for this section. That's all done. Okay, so now we're moving down. We're going to move down to here. So it looks like we've got some spare track. So let's move a couple of things out of the way that I'm going to need. Spare track off of our R tree. Off of the R tree, which I think is this one hanging down. Kind of locked in here. Kind of locked together here. Let go. There you go. Off of the R tree, we want R14 and R9. So here's R9, spare tracks, and then R14 is little pegs, pins. Okay. Or technically we're going to be doing this a few times. I could actually, while I've got it, and I know that I'm going to be doing it, I'm going to put it on the rest of these. Just while they're on the sprue. So let's just get this done. Okay, and this will just take care of this little task on all of them right now. Now, they do go on the proper side. You don't want to put them on this side where all this detail is. You want to put them on the I guess you'd say the pad side. Okay, and take one of these, and it goes in this direction. Let's go that like that, and goes like that. Okay. Let's see if I get this a little bit more stable. Move these off of here. I seem to have lost them. I just dropped that one. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where'd that other one drop? You guys saw that. I didn't. I did not see where it dropped. Am I gonna have to go back in my to my recording, my camera, and find out where that dropped? That's kind of shitty. Where did it go? You guys are probably like, it's right there, it's right there. And I don't know, or it fell on the floor. I don't know. If you guys did see where that dropped, leave a comment down below, because I really don't know. I did not see it. And this goes on. I'll clean up that later. See, I saw that one. My tweezers would rather... Okay, now so running into an issue. I'm just going to do one by one. You get out from under there. I lost one, I'm not going to lose any more. Okay, extra thin. There's one. Two. Now, do they have to be perfectly lined up? Doesn't really matter. That's up to you. Would it be nice if they all line up perfect? Sure, of course. We would love perfect things, but we don't always get perfect things. And that's the way it goes. Okay, so those are on. We got one missing. That's okay. We're going to work on this guy. Since I've taken him off of the sprue, I need to clean him up. Just on this edge here, there's sprue marks. Now, I'm not going to glue this one on. I already have a feeling that they want me to glue this onto the side of the tank, on the side of the hull, and I'm not ready for that yet, because it's going to make painting a lot easier. By leaving it off, kind of in between steps. Leaving it off until it's painted, but putting it on afterwards and then doing weathering once it's on. That's the way we're going to do it. So there we go. So you just put that little peg in the middle there, just like I did with the other 4. I would have done it with the other 5 had I been able to find that one that dropped, and I still don't know where it is. I'm sure it will appear somewhere within the next few days, but yeah. Next step, dealing with our little rear rack. I showed you guys this already last time with the photo etch thing. Putting this on, and I put the little photo etch pieces on the sides to get our little brackets there. This is one of the, I just picked it up, one of the kit brackets. Where do you go? Right here. This guy here. There's nothing wrong with this other than it is a little bit thick compared to the photo etch piece. We're talking about, you know, a quarter of a millimeter compared to like 1 millimeter thick piece that would go on there. It's not the end of the world. It's not bad. It does have detail with the little bolts on in the middle and on the ends, and it looks good, but I just went with the photo etch ones because they're fairly easy, and it does just, you know, a little more realistic, and they are out in the open and you can see that. So yeah, that's why I went with those, and they were easy to do. So yeah, I don't need this piece. But we do have L39 that needs to go, looks like it goes on the underneath here. L39. So, L tree right here. That looks like it right there, 39. This guy here. Looks like a rack of pry bars. Clean these up. Now there's photo etch piece for these if you wanted. Basically get rid of this piece, cut this off and replace it with a piece of photo etch. I don't think that's necessary, especially on the underneath like this. That would also take away your locating pins. It's just going to sit just like this. There we go. So that's under there. Okay, set that down. Okay, and that's it for this page. This page is done. All right, so flip her over, and we're doing more upper hull stuff. Now, I wanted to show you guys this as an example of putting photo etch parts that doesn't really add anything. Okay, so this piece right here, that is on our hull. It's this little section right here. Okay, so we have the photo etch piece that goes there. We've got a nice little mesh piece that would go. You could take this, cut this out, and you put this piece in, put that down there, and you're thinking, yeah, the mesh, that would really add some detail there, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to cover it up with this piece, right? And then you actually have another piece that you need to curve. You need to bend it to match the curvature of this to act as the front guard here that goes around there. Okay, and so here's our kit piece. This is the piece out of the kit. Okay, it already has its slight little bend right there across there, like it's supposed to. You can kind of see as I change it in the light. You can see how it's got that little bit of a bend. It's not perfectly flat. See that? Right there. See, it's not perfectly flat. It's got a little bit of a bend to it. Okay. Hard to see there, but yeah, it's kind of just got a little bit of a curve, right? And then you have our piece here on the front that goes down. Okay, right there. Again, hard to see the contrast of my fingers and shit. And that goes along the front. Now, when you take a look at where this actually goes and how it sits on there like this. And once it's on and in its spot, kind of like right there, you cannot see down in there and you can't see the mesh. You're never going to see the mesh, ever. Once that's in, and I'm going to glue that in right now. Glue it in right there, and you're never going to see the mesh. And it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to spend that time bending this piece perfectly across this edge here. That's got to be bent a little bit. Plus the other piece that's supposed to go around the front, I'm not sure which one it is on here. That's got to be bent to go around. You got to do all that, and well, yeah, you're going to spend however much time doing that, and you're really just wasting your time. Now, I'm sure there are guys out there who would take that as like, oh, that's all part and parcel to working with the photo etch, you know. Not for me. For me, photo etch is a bit of a challenge, and if it's not really adding to the detail very much that I'm going to see on a regular basis, then I don't think it's worth the trouble. Now, as you can see, there's your literal you can see that light going through there, right at that perfect angle. That's how much you could see into there. And yeah, you can't see anything. Could I have cut this center piece out? Sure, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't see in there. So yeah. Okay, so anyway, that was my little rant on that. And we got that piece in. So we've got more bits to put on the front here. And on the back. Okay, so we've got our machine gun. That's this guy here. Now, I did actually put the photo etch onto this guy. There's a little piece of photo etch that wraps around the barrel, and it gets a little more detail on the barrel holes, and that's kind of hard for you to see. Now, I see that in the camera. Sorry about that. In real life, you can see just the detail of the holes all along the barrel there. It did have them already kind of on the piece, but this just makes them a little bit deeper and a little bit more crisp, right? So that's really all that does. And it was easy enough to put on. Took me like 2 minutes and it's done. And it's going to go in right there. Okay. So let's see if I can get away with this. Just put it in on the back. It's thin. Done. Okay, gun's in. Like that, this thing is one of those things where it doesn't matter if it's absolutely perfectly level, because, well, it never was, right? Okay, next we've got, looks like our light guards. We've got a few of them here. So L8 and L11, okay, off of our L tree. Let's do L8 first. It's this guy here. Now these are pieces that normally I've seen get replaced with photo etch, because a lot of times the photo etch version is, or the kit version is made way too thick and unrealistically big on these tanks. But not in our Edward kit. Not this time. Okay, so this is our L8 and an L11 and the other L11. Well, let's do our 8 first. In this orientation, he's going to go on the front here, and he's going to line up with these two and be a guard for our headlight. Oh no, it's a guard for our little horn thing. Our horny thing. Go. And that's in. Okay. And then we have our L11, which I want to see. I should clean up that little mark on the top there. Just kind of file that. Now that they're off the sprue, these are a little delicate. So you want to go with a light touch, cleaning up your sprue marks, or nub marks, whatever you want to call them. So these things are easily bent and stressed, so you want to be careful. Take your time, don't rush. I'm talking to myself when I say that. Take your time, don't rush. Okay, that looks good. And similar fashion, we're going to go right there. Now the hole only has 2 spots. You have 4 mounting points, but only 2 spots to guide you, and that's alright, because you can just use some extra thin on the other 2. So I like to use this, the thicker stuff, on the 2 that go into those slots. That helps hold it. I get the right angle and kind of press them in a little bit, and then I just use the extra thin on the bottom pieces. There we go. And that's the other one. Okay. Same thing with this one, where the little right guard there. Bing. Too much on that, so let's clean that off. Okay. Just a little bit of pressure just to press it in, not too much. They are delicate little pieces. So there we go. So our guards are on now. Let's see that. Okay. So we're getting there. Okay. So let's do a double check here on the front. Yes, that and that and that. And a gun. That's it for the front. Let's move our way back. So they want to put tank tracks on here. So I need to reference some photos. So bear with me a moment while I take a look at a couple of pictures, because the tank in the movie has logs on the sides of it, and I'm not sure if there are actually tank tracks on the side of the tank itself. So I want to take a look at some side pictures. There's definitely There's definitely a tank track at the back here. Definitely one there. That's for sure. But what about the other side? There's a tank track on the other side too. The other side is very similar. There's a tank track here and there's a tank track here. And that's it, there's two. Okay, but then they got a jerry can sitting there, and on this side there's a bag hanging down. And it looks like maybe another jerry can here too. But as far as where we're supposed to put them in the middle, I don't see them. You cannot see them because of the logs on the side of the tank. Okay, so yeah, definitely tank track there and there. So really I'm only going to need two. So the fact that I lost one of the pegs for one of them doesn't matter. So, but like I said before, I'm not going to put this guy on, right? But on your kit, it would just go right there. And I am going to put that on, just not right now. I'm going to put that on after I've basically painted the whole kit, right? But I'll put it on there after painting, before weathering. That's what I'm going to do, okay? So that's a future plan. So, moving on, we need these guys here, L3 and A1. So I got my L3 handy here. Now looking down here, I think I need to do the same thing on this side. Yes, L3 here on that side. So I need them one here and one here. So there should be two L3s. Yes, right here. Two L3s. I also need L1 and 2, I see, for our guards for the tail lights. L1 and L2, but I'll deal with those in a minute. These guys, I need to clean up that little nub. I don't know what these pieces are. Little rectangular pieces that just stick up out of the hull for no particular reason. I'm glad the hull was sitting there because this thing tried to fire itself off the desk rather than be put on. Okay, so basically dink right in there like that. Now there is a ejector pin mark on that, so because of that I'm going to put that towards the inside. Apparently not. Wow. It's not a good day for small parts, guys. At least not for me. My small parts are really not wanting to be installed. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that where that fired. I saw kind of where it went on my desk, but I got a lot of junk on my desk here too, so let me see if I can find that piece. At least quick, if I can find it quickly. Which doesn't look like I'm going to. No. So again, that'd be another piece I'll have to see if I can find so I can put it on that side. So let's move on. A1. A1. So we got A1 and we need two of them. Of course we got two A trees. So here's A1 right there. There's that one. And then off of our other A tree. There we go. Okay. And he's going to go on these two little bumps on each side. So let's check fitment here. It doesn't appear to be a front and back, and it just sits on those two little pegs like that. Just getting it lined up is the tricky part. Making sure it's straight up and down, it looks pretty good. So there's that one. Flip this guy around. Okay, there we go. Those two are on. Okay. Next, let's go with our guards for the tail lights. That's off of L1 again. Let's deal with those. 1 and 2. Basically 1 and 2 like that. So let's do 1. I'm only guessing the difference is going to be maybe they have a slight angle on them. There's 1. Okay, so just do that. I'll do 1 first. And it goes like that. And we've got 2 little guide holes here. One there and one there, and then on this side there and there. So that should help in aligning this up. Let's see if it'll sit on its own first. Yep. Yeah, it'll sit on its own, but we don't need to rely on that. The 2 spots where it's actually going to go in these little holes, I'll put the thicker glue. Like that. And then on our third one, there we go. Okay. L2. There we go. Since I already know exactly how it's supposed to fit, okay. There we go. Okay, our tail light guards are on. A little hard to see. There we go. Here and there. Okay, those are on. Next we got on here, taillights, guards. Oh, we got to put our rack. They give you an example here in the picture of how it's going to look. The L2 is the example. It's supposed to go right over your tail light. Okay. We've got our little rack. It's been sitting, waiting patiently to be installed. And that's going to go right here. And just kind of drape down. We've got a couple little things that stick out at the back to make sure it's not just sitting flush against our little bar there that we installed a long time ago. So we're going to go here, 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 and here, and here. There we go. Our rack is on. Now this, of course, is something that would be it's going to be a challenge to get paint down in there now, but with an airbrush it won't be too hard. Right? Won't be too hard to get in there. Next, now that's on, we've got our shovel and, I don't know, some kind of pry bar. It's going to go along on this side. So let's find our shovel. Our shovel is on our K tree. Oh, we got K20. This little piece is going to go here, it looks like. So let's grab our K tree. That's A, other A. I think this is K. Yes, there's our K tree. Right away, your shovel sticks out here, right there, right there, right there, right there. And then K23 is our little bar. There we go. And we want K20. This guy here. A little easier to flip it over and see where I'm actually supposed to cut. Okay. Anything else? No, that looks like it. Okay, so our shovel's got a little piece that needs to be trimmed off there. Okay, I'll throw that in the garbage so I don't mistake it for a part. And our bar has another little piece that needs to be trimmed off here too. Like that. I'll throw that away. Okay, so here's K20. This is supposed to go in a certain orientation. You've got some detail here on this side, and that's supposed to face the back of the tank. Okay. So let's see if I can get this on without it flinging somewhere. And there we go. It just sits right in there. So I'm just going to glue it in from the bottom here. There we go. Okay, now he's in place. We have our shovel. Now again, there's photo etch parts for the shovel if you should so choose to use them. Looking at what it adds, basically you can remove the strap that goes across the spade here, or just leave the kit part. I'm going to leave the kit part. I don't think it adds anything by replacing this. Of course, you'd have to trim this off, sand it down so that it basically doesn't exist, and then put the photo etch piece on. I don't think that's really worth it. So we've got a peg here and a peg there to line it up. And so it's going to go like something like this, like that there. So we have our shovel on there. And then we have our, some kind of a crowbar or pry bar. Careful when scraping off your nubs. You need to make sure you don't chisel away too much. Okay, so it's kind of tapered, so you want to have the fat end towards the back. It's just two little pegs, and they're going to go, he's going to go in kind of right here. Just like that. Want to make sure I get some on the front there so he stays put. There we go. Okay, so that's that, and it looks like I'm finished. Of course, we got tracks here on the sides, which again, I'm not putting the tracks in yet. I'm waiting till it's after it's going to be painted. And of course, I'm not going to be putting these two in because I've got logs are going to go along there, so don't have to worry about those. I could maybe, depending on the size of the logs I put on, we'll see. Anyway, so that's going to finish this section off, and that's it. So the next step, they want us to put our two hulls together, upper and lower together now. That's the next step. And they say, for some reason, don't glue the fenders. I'm actually not going to glue it at all, but because putting this all on is going to, one thing that's nice, remember back in like very first time putting the hole together, we got a poly cap in here, and so that allows us to have a nice firm grip on the front. Make sure your tab here, that's going to go inside. We do that, line their fenders up, and let's get this on here. Now you got to, this is the tricky part, because you put those two on there and those have to line up. If you didn't have them perfectly straight up and down, that can be a problem. And just looking at this, it looks like there's a problem, because they really don't want to line up on there at all, which makes me ask the question, did I put it together right? Did I put that together right? They show that piece right there, which is this little thing sticking out. Did I put these on the wrong side a long time ago? Because they really just do it. They don't line up. They're sticking out too far. Unless it's supposed to come, there's just no way they're going to go. There's no way they're going to go now. See, I have not put the holes together since. Let's go back in the book and see if I actually did put them together on the wrong sides. Here, it shows with that little peg going towards the inside and not the outside. So they do show this going over top like that. So maybe I just need to press a little bit and to get that in there as I push forward. Maybe that's all it takes. Yeah, you just press it down and then we're in. Although that now is sticking up here. See that? Can you guys see that gap there? So it's like I'm not all the way in. I don't like that at all. That doesn't look right. So that means I got to do a little bit of finesse on there. So let's take this back off. Pull that out. Okay. This is putting too much pressure on the front plate. So I'm going to shave this down a little bit. I don't mind being tight, but okay, so trim a little bit off of there. I'm going to do a little bit on the underside here. There actually is a little bit of a notch here on the inside. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to trim away just a little bit. Sorry if you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I need to see, so okay. Let's see if that fits a little easier now. Put back in there. And we'll press that down. Well, it's better, but it's still putting a lot of pressure there. It's still putting a lot of pressure on there, and still got a big gap. Don't like that at all. When I test fit this before, there was no pressure and there's no gap. So I'm tempted to just remove this piece or just maybe bend it down. At this point, with the amount of pressure that's on the sides, I don't care if this piece is there or not. Okay, I bent it, and now that gap is gone. Well, almost gone. And that looks better. I think I could bend it just a little more and remove that gap completely, because it's still kind of pressing out the front just that little bit. But I mean, if I wanted to glue it, I could, but I think not gluing it will give me the freedom to remove the hull and get paint underneath here really easily by not gluing it. I think is going to work to my advantage. So I'll just leave it like this and see what's on the next page. See, it says don't glue it anyway. Attach from the front first. Rest the upper hull with fenders in position shown at left. Then push forwards before fitting the rear. They do show you here. Well, that goes underneath and go push that forward. They show these on the outside top. So it's a tight fit, and they knew it, and they did it on purpose. And so what I originally thought was supposed to happen, I thought these would be going to the sides, but they don't, they sit on top. So that's what you gotta make sure. They sit on top. Okay. Like that. Like that. I'm all buttoned up and gotta be careful where I press because I've got those little photo etch handles here. And those are very easily, you just press down on them, now they're folded over and they're garbage. Okay, but it all fits together perfectly. I got this little movable piece down here. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. It's funny, there's a big hole in the back. Why didn't they cover the engine hole? Anyway, so that's that. Okay, flip the page. We're finally getting to our upper hole. Okay, but I gotta check the time and see what I'm at here. So I gotta get going pretty soon. Let me see how we're doing here. Pretty close. Okay, I got a few minutes left. So let's put our lower hull aside here and take a look at our upper hull. Or sorry, not our upper hull, our turret. We're finally doing the turret. Now, something I wanted to do on the turret, and that's going to take a little bit of detail, and it's a little something you've not seen me do before. Okay, so let's grab our pieces first. We've got to get K1 and K3 are our main pieces. Here's K3. Let's get these pieces put together first here. Okay, so we need K1. What else do we need for K3? K37. K37. K37 right there. We need K33. This little piece here. We need K2 times 2. These little plugs. And then we need A28. A28 is not particularly necessary right now. It doesn't really matter for what I'm doing. But we also need K1, which is loose in the box. This guy right here. He was loose in the box. Okay. Now they do show a bunch of pegs along here that we're supposed to cut off there. I'll start by nipping them. This up here. Okay. I'll get these assembled and then I'll show you guys what I plan on doing. Okay, so we take this guy and our K37, and K37 is going to go in right here. Yeah, this is right. Like this. So that piece goes on there like that. Okay. There's that. Got our big piece. Gotta clean up our really ugly nubs on there. It's kind of nice. They undergated it. That's a rare thing. But at the same time, they are big nubs. Just to get them smooth so that it'll fit. Okay, K33, our little piece here. This guy's got to go in, and it looks like it's only going to go in one way. It's not that way. It's not that way. There we go. I think that's backwards, actually. There we go. Just like that. Okay, he's in. Our K2s are supposed to go on each side. Here and here. It says here to apply cement to only the kind of this section here only. Now the diagram would suggest that these go in a certain way. It looks like they do. So I'm just going to use thin to do that. Press down to line it up. The diagram would show, yeah, they kind of do. So I just want to make sure. Take a look at this. If they actually have notches in them. Now that I kind of partially glued it, it's hard to tell. Stick it back in there. It doesn't really do anything. As long as you've got it lined up straight, I think is all you need. You can kind of tell that there is a bit of a sweet spot where it kind of falls into place there. I imagine that's going to take effect when I try to put the mantlet on later. the mantlet has got to go in there. It looks like we got a couple of, I'm not sure what, they don't mark these pieces. What are these? Oh, we have to make them. K30, and then you put polycaps on and you put them on there, and then I guess a mantlet is going to go and it's just going to sit on them. So really all you need to do is make sure they're kind of straight. That might have some effect later. Okay, so A28 is, if we put this on first, it's going to be a little hard to get in there to put A28 in. So we'll do that first. A28. Let's find our A tree. Of course, we got two A trees, so just get this put together on this section here, and that's where I'm going to leave it for today. And we will continue next time, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to do. Okay, A28 is going to glue in right there, like that. Okay. Slather that with glue. There we go. Okay. And then these two go together. It doesn't look like it's an absolute perfect fit. Well, it kind of is. Pretty close. Almost snaps together. Okay. Glue around there. Glue around there. Around there. There. And there. Okay. Done. Okay. Now, as I mentioned when I first opened up the box and looked at this kit, Tamiya's done a pretty good job at making this look like it's really cast steel. And it's not super smooth, it's kind of rough texture, but when you've got this sitting here against the look of the rest of the tank, it doesn't really look that much different than the rest of the hull. There's not much difference in the way it looks. Okay, you can tell here this is really rough, this extra cast steel part, but this doesn't look very rough at all. And so we're going to fix this. We're going to do that, but we're going to do that next time. I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay. Anyway, I can leave it like this and just let it sit. That's where we're going to finish off for today. Okay, we're just going to leave it like that. I'm going to let that dry, and next time we're going to see what I do to get that all looking a little bit different, and that is going to take something that I don't normally use, and that's my Tamiya extra thin, but not the fast. See, the one I normally use is the quick setting one, right? The lighter green bottle. I use the quick set all the time. This is just a regular thin that dries as fast as this one, but this is extra thin. And I'm going to use this, and we're going to see exactly what we do next time. Okay? So, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the coffee. Down below in the description box, you're going to see some links, and those links are going to take you to my Twitch channel, where you could watch me live. Yes, Uella, that is a tank. You can watch me live on Twitch. You could talk to me just like Uella did, and all that fun stuff. You'll also find a link to my Instagram page. If you go on my Instagram page, you're going to find a bunch of still pictures of all the builds I've done in the past. Every time I finish a build, I take a few pictures of it and I upload it to my Instagram. And you can check me out there too. And you can also hit that like button and you can subscribe also if you haven't subscribed. More than 80% of you guys that watch my channel have not subscribed. So why not just do me that favor and hit that subscribe button, eh? Yeah, that's it for today, guys. And we'll continue on next. And we'll see you all in the next one.